So I thought that today we could work with some easy practices that are very good for resetting the nervous system and for cultivating resilience and healing. And what's very beautiful about these practices is that they are very easy, so anyone can practice them, and also you can teach it to your children or your students or your clients in between sessions. And they are also complementary of many other somatic practices. So yeah, really easy and powerful. And those of you that are taking with me the course on embodying safety, integrating yoga, qigong, and polyvagal theory, or those of you that know a bit about polyvagal theory, you know that when we feel fear or threatened, the automatic, autonomic responses, physiological responses that are automatic, involuntary, and instantaneous are to either close up because one feels overwhelmed or get restless because one tries to fight the problem or flee from it. I mean, this is simplifying a little bit the three autonomic states. We could call them fight, flight, or freeze. And sometimes we have a combination of those. Like, for example, if for a long time we have been with this sense of being under threat, which is something that many of us are experiencing in this current situation, then eventually comes also this sense of overwhelm. It's just too much. I don't know what to do with this. There is no way to fight or flight, not immediate results seen. I mean, of course, there is always some way of participating, but we need to understand all this as if, like, if we have been diagnosed with a cancer and with a terminal disease, and again, the body in our first reactions would be, this shouldn't be happening, or try to avoid it, or why me, why now? Just all totally natural reactions of fear or of closing down that don't help the situation. I mean, they rob us of our power, of our energy. So the question here is understanding that, and understanding that sometimes there is an immediate resolution of the problem. How can we work with ourselves so that we can have clarity, energy, purpose, and resilience, and that we can help our healing? Because these other adaptive responses, um, for a short time, they are important, but if we are stuck with them, we are locked into these situations, then they become really very depleting for the whole system, because we are designed in such a way that if the nervous system is allocating resources for the fight, flight, or the freeze, the survival adaptive responses, it's taking away from the energy for digestion or for better heart health, and it affects our breathing, it affects our sleep, it affects our immune system. So knowing that our physiology is going a bit out of balance because of all these challenges, personal challenges, and also community challenge, and the challenge of violence and madness proliferating in the world, and also goodness is also coming up. So, we need to sometimes the bad things are so overwhelming that it seems that it's the only future and the only possibility. But if we look at our own life, many challenges that we have been able to survive, and also if we look at the history of mankind, there have been disasters and dictators and horrible things, and eventually uh, we have been able to overcome it. So it's very important that while we are going through this tunnel of darkness, we cultivate light in ourselves and we cultivate resilience in ourselves so that we can be available to ourselves and that we can be available to others and that we can participate in whatever way of clarity and insight we have in cultivating what we want to have in place all along the tunnel. So it's also with us and with our communities when finally we are able to overcome this that we are going through. And with reference to the analogy of cancer, sometimes cancer helps us to see what we were doing blindly in our life and how to make major changes for greater health. And sometimes there is remission, and sometimes there is no remission. But in any case, we want to live with quality up to the very last day that we have life. So that also means we need to be working with ourselves every day to release anxiety, to cultivate our chi, our prana, our vital energy. And that will help with everything. Once we can help the body to relax, the mind relaxes because the mind is a process that happens through the body. We usually refer to the mind like a noun, but it's really a verb. How are you minding right now? And so the question here is in polyvagal theory and in us, how do we speak to our physiology? If it is automatic, instantaneous, and involuntary, how do I change from these states into calmness? What we learn in polyvagal theory is that we have this amazing a nerve, the vagus nerve, the major nerve within the parasympathetic nervous system that collects the sensations that the viscera are experiencing, and it brings those impressions to the brain, and that collection of sensations in our body is 80% of our inner state. When it comes to the brain then, like a mirror, reflects what has come up and will send more of the same. So if it's anxiety is coming up and fear, and then the brain is going to say, oh, you are in danger, let me send you more adrenaline so that you can fight or flight or do something with reference to that. Or if we are already going through a period of overwhelm, of shutting down, almost like if we are about to die, then the parasympathetic nervous system takes us into further closing down so that we don't feel so much the pain if we are just about to die. So how do we speak to our sympathetic that gets overactivated and brings us into anxiety and restlessness? And how do we speak to our parasympathetic that when it's dysregulated can bring us also into despair and shutdown? And these practices will help you with that, okay? So we are going to start by speaking to our viscera, to our body, in a language that the body can understand, and give the viscera a sense of peace so that what they are going to be transmitting to the vagus nerve, which is that 80% of what uh, constitutes our inner state, is going to be sensations of peace, of safety. At this moment, we are safe. And once the body experiences that and is transmitted through the vagus nerve to the brain, then the brain says, oh, you're safe right now. Let me send you more dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, let me just, these 47 trillion, not 37 trillion, because of age and gender and all that is between 20 trillion, 30, 37, but a lot of cells, more cells in our body than stars in our galaxy. So all those cells go in one direction. So that's the beauty and the um, the dramatic force of our negative thoughts and emotions is that when we are stuck into them and we are generating this restlessness, this overwhelm, then the whole body, the brain included, is going to respond to the viscera, and they all go in the same direction. You cannot go into peace and anxiety at the same time. So let's learn how to bring all these amazing organisms that we have into the direction of experiencing moments of peace. Okay. So these practices come from Qigong, and in Qigong, we talk about our vital organs like jewels, like a box of jewels. And here we have these jewels that very much contribute to our own functioning and well-being. And on the left side, so this is the left for me, but just locate your left. We are going to rub our hands and generate warmth, circulation of blood and qi. And we are going to bring our left hand to our left side and massage here, kind of half the way between the armpit and the waist is the location of the spleen and the stomach. And also there is a very important point within the spleen meridian, Davao, spleen 21, which is very good for bringing a sense of relaxation. But even if you don't remember about the point, just know that you have these healing hands with the vortexes here of healing. And that when you rub them and there is this warmth, this circulation of blood and chi, you can bring your attention and intention to massage, and your hands to massage the area of your spleen and stomach. And first, we just feel the hand massaging, but now I'm going to invite you to sense from inside out. So see if you can sense like you are also your spleen and your stomach, although we usually identify more with our hands, but sense the receiving of this massage. And since we have meridians on both sides for each of these organs, so we have meridian for the spleen on the left, and then we also have a meridian for the spleen on the right. So we are going now to use both hands with the intention of sending this sense of peace and relaxation to our spleen and stomach. And we are going to open up from inside to receive this massage. It feels good, huh? It's just so simple and it feels so good. And your body at this moment is having a chance to rest. It's like all that energy that was in the head that goes to the past and the future, worrying about what has happened or what might or will happen in the future is just okay. We stop all that, not being in the present, come back to the present moment, come back to the body, and with love, we direct our attention and intention to this touch and this massage. And let go of any stagnation. Stagnation comes from this anxiety, fear, restlessness. We let go of that as we massage, and we notice also the effect on our breath. Inhale and exhale. Letting go of what's burdening us. The feeling that affects more the spleen and weakens the spleen is wearing. So, of course, we have been under a lot of that. And there could be a stagnation because all that wearing. So then we are massaging here to let go of that wearing. It's very interesting also that the spleen, for example, according to anatomy in the Western world, anatomy in general, we connect with the immune system, although the immune system is all over the body in different parts in our lymph nodes and also kind of inner blood and inner marrow bone, and but it's also connected to the spleen. So how important it is to realize that if we are blindly in these continuous cycles of wearing, we are weakening our nervous system and we are weakening our spleen and our immune system. So to counteract that, we massage our spleen area, and also we massage both sides with the spleen meridians here. And we are going to visualize our spleen and our stomach and smile to them. This sense of gratitude that they have been with us since the very first moment of our life, and they have accompanied us through all kinds of ups and downs and keep fulfilling their function so that we can be alive. So visualizing the stomach and the spleen and smiling to them with this sense of gratitude. When you smile, everything softens. So that's another thing, another of the practices. So one of the practices is self-massage. The second practice is the inner smile. And it's this sense of a smiling. It can be a quiet smile, it doesn't need to be super big. Maybe you haven't been smiling too much lately. Don't worry, just think of these amazing organs that have been helping you since you were small. And maybe think of your spleen and stomach when you were a baby or a child, and when you were a young person, and now, and how amazing that they are with us, with you, serving you. So smiling to your spleen and stomach, and imagining that they are smiling back to you. So you, as the inhabitant of the temple, this amazing organism that you have, is like a temple of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your experiences, of your feelings, of your functioning. So smiling to them and them smiling back to you with also, oh, she remember. She's not just the head. We are important too. Okay, so having a little smiling resonance, you to the organs and the organs to you, in this case, the stomach and the spleen. And besides being nearby, the stomach and the spleen are within the structure of the body. Within traditional Chinese medicine, stomach and spleen are a couple. So in traditional Chinese medicine, there is this yin-yang theory. So the understanding that we have within ourselves different kinds of functionalities and energies. And we have the yin, which is more subtle but more receptive, and the yang, which is more active. And then within the organs that have to use more energy to, for example, process food, like the stomach that gets the food, and it's working with it to break it, and then also the besides what you chew, obviously, um, and then the gut, the large intestine, the small intestine, those are considered young organs in the sense that they fulfill processing that requires a different kind of energy, kind of more active. While the spleen and the heart and the lungs and the liver and the kidneys are processing more subtle essential nutrients. They don't deal with such gross substances. And so in traditional Chinese medicine, there is always one yin organ and one yang organ functioning together. And the yin organ would be the spleen, and the yang organ in this case is the stomach. So how interesting that since wearing affects so much the spleen, it also affects a lot the stomach. And it interferes with your digestion. And we know that when we are very worried, very upset, even if we have a healthy diet, we don't digest so well and we don't assimilate so well. So massage your spleen before eating, after eating, whenever you feel that maybe you are catching some sense of unease, the beginning of some uh, sickness, and also just as a habit. Several times during the day, you can do it, like I always say, like when you're waiting for a friend or waiting for the water to boil or whatever, you just kind of, oh, yeah, let me massage my spleen and stomach. So we have 5 jewels within this box of jewels, and well, 10 really, but we are mainly concentrating on the yin organs, and then the yang organs come accompanying them. So we are thinking of the spleen would be one of the 5 jewels of the vital organs, and let's do spleen and stomach. On the other side, here on the right side, show me your right. Okay, so we rub our hands, generate some warmth from circulation of blood and chi, and now we are going to be bringing the attention to the right side where the liver and gallbladder are. The liver being the yin meridian, the gallbladder being the yang meridian. Both of them work together and also influence a lot, of course, digestion because of the bile, which in good amounts is excellent for your digestion, but it can also be thrown out of balance because of different factors. We are massaging here the liver and the gallbladder, and both of them are affected by the emotion of anger. So it's easy to remember that because bile is also sometimes associated with anger. So and the liver fulfills a very important function in filtering the blood also, and it's one of the biggest organs we have. So it's very important to make sure that we help every day with dispelling stagnant energy at the liver. And so here we are, like we did in the other one. First, we are massaging, noticing our hand in contact with our body. Then receiving that, opening from inside to receive that massage. And there's also another very important point here, lever 13, right where you're massaging, kind of halfway between the armpit and the waist. And there are also 2 meridians for the liver. Although the liver and the gallbladder are on the right, there is also one meridian in the left for the liver. So we are now massaging with both hands, but bringing the attention especially to the right and enjoying it, opening ourselves to enjoy that. Be totally present with this, helping your viscera to experience a moment of love, of peace, of healing, and having the intention of releasing layers and layers of your anger. It can be justified. There are things that make us angry and that we need to do something about it because it's an unfair situation or it's something that shouldn't be happening. But so the initial emotions and feelings are, of course, totally natural and welcome. When we get stuck, that's also natural, but we then realize, oh, okay, now I'm not helping the situation. It is depleting me. I'm drinking all this poison of anger that I'm feeling towards somebody else or towards a situation, and it's not empowering me to do something about really change the situation. So we massage our liver and let go of layers and layers of stagnation in the liver that can bring us either to too much anger, and again, we are poisoning ourselves, or to non-express anger, which needs to be owned and expressed too. So when we massage, we are massaging to regain a balance there of the liver and of the emotion of anger and how we can process it and work with it. Of course, different moments will require, it will be wise to use your anger in different ways. So, or to try to dispel it. But especially if if you are locked into it, if it is something that keeps coming up, remember that that's not often touching the other person or the situation. It's just poisoning you. And it's not even helping you to be more clear or strong or reclaim your power to do something about the situation. So, massage, visualize your liver and your gallbladder, smile to them, again with gratitude for all that they have been doing since the very first moment you were born and all along your life. And have the intention of letting go of layers and layers of stagnant energy there, and then observe how that also affects your breathing. You are smiling to the liver and gallbladder, and they are smiling back to you. Moment of peace, of integration. And even maybe remembering, some how anger has shown up in your life and when it has served you and when you have learned that although it was natural that would arise at the end, it was not helping you because it was not also channeling to action of changing anything. So, just okay. So my intention today, as I teach you this, is for us to cultivate resilience because we are here for the long run and we are facing lots of challenges and there are going to be more challenges coming up. And so to remember what we still have and to give gratitude for what we have and to cultivate this resilience and healing so that we can be available to ourselves and to others to actively participate in whatever ways we can. And one of the ways we can is by experiencing this safety and then radiating it to others, and also being kind to ourselves and being kind to others, and help to keep some sense of healing and of resilience in the ways we interact with ourselves and with others. So two of the jewels, the spleen on the left and the liver on the right. Now we're going to go to the kidneys, which are here. And we are going to massage the kidneys like this, or up and down, in and out. So in the beginning, I was showing us doing this. So this is a point called Hegu. You find it by using your thumb like this and putting it here and then pressing in towards your index. And you find there a point that's a little bit more painful than the rest of what's around. That's Hegu, large intestine 4. And then the same on the other hand. You definitely notice when you find it, just like, oh, it's much more painful. This is a detoxifying point, one of the most important anti-inflammatory and detoxifying points. Not to be mess up too much if you are pregnant. This point and another point in your legs can interfere a little bit with the process of delivery, but otherwise, it's a great point for any kind of pain from the neck up, and it's also a great detoxifying point. And since we are using our hands, we could use the hands up and down, in and out, or we can also use the Hegu points at the kidneys. So massaging the kidneys with a round massage or up and down, in and out, or whatever, if your shoulders don't let you get there, then, maybe one arm can go and massage both if one of your shoulders is not working so well, or you can visualize yourself massaging if the hands don't get there. The visualizations also, the body responds to visualizations the same that it responds to whatever neuroception or, thoughts and emotions we have. So, okay, so we're massaging the kidneys, and the kidneys are affected by fear again, you know, very much trouble on these times. Kidneys are very important as reservoirs of energy, the original chi, the one that you received when you were born, but also a lot of the energy that we receive in general from the other processes of digestion, etc. And also it's a reservoir of sexual energy. So fear robs us of our energy. We know that. So we massage there, and that's the area. The kidneys are like two little bags. Then the urinary bladder also is connected to the kidneys in this coupling of that I was telling you in the traditional Chinese medicine. So we are massaging, visualizing the kidneys, smiling to our kidneys, remembering all those fears that we have had when we were children or um, young people or parents, and different kinds of fears, and then how we overcame the situations and how everything, even the challenges, have brought you to this moment where you are here, and thanking your kidneys for helping you to keep processing and to keep letting go of stagnant energy. And now we have these tools that you can use, but to develop the skill of using the tools, you have to use them daily. So one thing is for me to give you the tools, and the other thing is for you to develop the skill. And the skill will be when you decide that this is very important, that this is really an amazing journey of discovery, and that is totally necessary because of what's going on today, that we help ourselves to dispel stagnant energy. So we massage there, we smile to our kidneys, imagine the kidneys smiling back, and letting go of layers and layers of fears, also feeling gratitude for these kidneys. We smile to them gently. That helps us to bring the attention inward, deep into where the kidneys are. And when we imagine that they are smiling to us, then from inside comes this sense of softening and relaxation that spreads in our body. Kidneys are very much also related to the processing of fluids. Okay, so we had the spleen on the left together with the stomach, the liver on the right together with the gallbladder, and on the back we have the kidneys together with the urinary bladder. And then we're going to come to the front, and here we have two other major viscera that have a lot of influence on our state, and that's the lungs and the heart, which are our two other major jewels. And they are associated, the lungs are associated with the large intestine, and the heart is associated with the small intestine. So let's rub our hands, generating this sense of warmth, circulation of blood and chi. And let's bring our hand right here in the area of the chest, more or less at the height of the nipples there. There's a point called Sea of Tranquility, a major point for sending sense of relaxation to the whole body. And it's also, of course, this here, the area of Anahata, the heart chakra, and within the traditional Chinese medicine of the middle dantian or middle field of the elixir. So we rub the hands and we bring the center of our palm, our healing palm here. And for a moment, we just sense this sense of coming back right to the present moment by having our hands resting at the area of our lungs and heart. And sensing our heart beating under our hands, being nested with this attention of love and compassion of ourselves, to the difficult situation in which we are. And this commitment of cultivating resilience and healing. When we smile to our lungs with gratitude for the amazing work they are doing for us since the very first breath that we took. And we imagine that the lungs smile back to us. You remember. Thank you. Yeah. And notice just touching how wonderful it is. I mean, you could also massage, like, let's say you're massaging with your right hand, you go clockwise, like if the body is a clock. And you can have the two hands, one on top of the other, just totally present on giving and receiving this massage. Allowing any tension to be dissolved and feeling the opening of your chest. Letting go of stagnant energy. So if you are, first you massage clockwise and then you massage counterclockwise, you change hands, the left hand touching the body and going counterclockwise. Totally present with giving and receiving this massage. How wonderful it feels. This is what I mean by talking to the body in a language that the body understands and immediately responds to it. Smiling to our lungs, they smile back to us. And the other very important jewel that we have here, also in the same area, is the heart. And the heart, the emotion that nourishes it is joy, different forms of joy, also gentle, profound joy. And the emotion that weakens the heart and robs it of its energy is betrayal. And again, we might have been feeling quite a bit of betrayal lately because of what's happening in our country and or other reasons. So to let go of that sense of betrayal and everything that we are carrying in our chest like a burden, we again massage, or we just let the hands be nesting the heart there, sensing the heart beating with great love and compassion for ourselves and our circumstances. And for everyone else that's also going through the same and is also working for change and bringing light. So we remember what we still have and what we still give thanks for, and we also remember the good um, the good news. There are lots of bad news, but let's remember also the good news. For example, for me is Sohar Mandani, someone for whom I pray every day. Um, that somebody could have so much courage and so much strength, and also a sign that the same way that we are seeing this nonsensical spending with no purpose for the community, that we can also see, oh, look, if all that money is there, we can have health for everyone, and we can have affordable housing, and we can have free education. Of course, I mean, it's just like such a minimal portion of what's being spent in really totally nonsensical things. But in any case, let's come back to just the breath. Also remember the positive news in your life, in our country, and the fact that everything is part of this long journey of unfolding consciousness. And so sometimes we go through this a lot of suffering and challenges to wake up to what really matters and to support what really matters with reference to our health, our personal life, our lifestyle, and also the life of our communities. So those are the three easy practices: a massage, the smile, the inner smile to the organs, and the organs smiling back to you, and the breath, and noticing, what's happening with the breath as you practice. Oh, I didn't mention what was the emotion, what is emotion that drains the lungs, and that's sadness, grief. And so to let go also, layers and layers and layers of grief. We massage and we breathe and we remember what we are grateful for in our life and in our communities and in our health. Okay, well, I hope you remember it's really simple, it's really handy, you have it there all the time. And you can teach it to your children, to your parents, grandparents, students, clients, no matter what you do, is always there available. So please, if you like the class, give it a like, tell other people about it, subscribe to the channel, practice, share it with others.